We're here at the 22nd Street Showplace at Smart Opals from Australia, the one and only Steve Smart.
G'day.
How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hope you're having a great show.
Yeah, it's been good.
I'm super excited that I was messaged by you folks yesterday because you have one of the beautiful Ray Fosters.
Yeah, that's it. This is the high-speed dental lathe that we're using to dry sand boulder and lightning ridge opal. So yeah, it's a good quick process that we've been using for many years, and we're out here showing people the alternative to using the 6-inch, 8-inch, 4-inch wheels to basically carve opal.
Before we get into the nitty-gritty, essentially 3 meshes straight to polish.
Yeah, we use a diamond. Where is it? Down here. We start off with a diamond grit, which is just a 3M cloth mesh, and then we go to a 240 grit silicon carbide, and then 600 silicon carbide, and these are all just mounted on these we call them the shofu floppy, which is just available from any jewelry supply store, with a foam pad mounted in between to give it a little bit of flexibility.
And you're literally super gluing it on there.
Yeah, we just use super glue. That's the best. It's Loctite is the best brand to use, and you can just glue the disc straight on there, and you should get 40 or 50 stones out of a silicon carbide disc before it needs changing out. And these ones, they just wear down to a smaller disc as you use them, and that'll last you many stones.
So like you were saying, all the cost is in the machine. Yeah,
the machine's expensive, and because you're dry sanding, you're creating silica dust, so you need to use an OSHA rated vacuum cleaner to take out all the particles of silica that you're creating there. So the 2 machines need to go hand in hand. You need the vacuum and the Ray Foster machine.
And in my opinion, if you're cutting quality boulder or lightning ridge, that alone is an investment.
Yeah.
It's not that it's expensive, it's just that it's that one-time fee, and then it's extremely economical.
Yeah, well, if you're cutting good material, you make it back in the first week.
Exactly. So, actually, you could probably do it the first day, depending how excited you are.
Well, that's it. And the benefit of this is when you have color on the opal, you actually get to keep that color as you do the polishing. So a lot of the big wheels you can't get into the concaves, so this machine will let you do that and get high polish on there. You still need the wet wheels to do the preforming and get down to the opal layer, but this is definitely the best way to finish the material off.
And so what this machine can do, it can contour to the natural boulder opal, where if you were using a wheel, you would wipe away so much material, potentially so much color, by the time you have it flush and you actually start pre-polishing and then finally go to your polishing. But in fact, it's actually a little bit more than that. It's a speed machine. If the wheels can take a while, most American cutters are going through 6 different meshes before they hit their final polish. Even if you're using Nova points, like our good friend Roy Rocks out of Australia, that takes a lot of time. Those things burn through really fast. Even the higher quality ones, but they are affordable, but not as affordable as like 3 cents worth of sandpaper.
Yeah, these discs here have already done probably 30 or 40 stones, so they're a little worn out, but they're still doing the job, so we'll keep them on there.
So it's not just one of the best ways to work boulder opal and lightning ridge. Mr. Smart wouldn't be here with it if it wasn't the fastest way.
That's right, we get through a lot of opal. You can see the cabinets full of opals, and it's me and my son working through that, so yeah, we get through it pretty quick.
You can use anything you want, Mr. Smart, and you choose the Ray Foster. I'm so excited to be here. I'm just so stoked about machinery. So on Ray Foster's website, there's a couple different machines. You say that there is a variable machine and then there's a fixed speed machine. You prefer the variable. The fixed machine's not bad. You have a fixed machine here. You're getting a variable soon. What are the models called?
So this is the AG03. So this is a fixed speed, which is great. It's doing the job. I have the 05, which is a variable speed unit, and I just prefer the variable speed. And for this job, it's actually just a little bit better. But the AG03 is also quite good.
It looks extremely well built.
Yeah, these machines last too long. they're still going 40 years later. That's how long this company's been going, so they're very reliable.
And so it has the integrated ventilation. You don't need to buy any jigs to hold a thing that might be in your way on the side. Looks like it has a quality light there.
Yeah, there's a light. I put an extra light in there, just I like a lot of light when I'm working.
Oh, right.
So, yeah.
Fantastic. Very small form factor.
Yeah,
it's not going to eat up a lot of space. The ventilation underneath the table is probably bigger than that, huh?
Yeah, the vacuum is, a full-size vacuum, so that's under the desk in a box just to keep the noise down. And the loudest sound while you're working is actually the air going through the duct there. So you need a really strong vacuum to take the dust away.
This looks like a powerful motor. You probably never had a problem with it bogging down, huh?
No. You use such light pressure that there's no strain on the motor, so...
Right, you wouldn't want to use a lot of pressure because you'll burn it up.
Yeah, well, if you press hard in one spot, you will heat the disc up and also the opal. So using light pressure is best. And there's a couple of times in the process where it's nice to push in a little bit, but most of the time it's very light pressure, and the stone never gets more than sort of just warm to the touch, but never hot. All right, which one do you want me to cut?
Honestly, they're all fantastic. But let's start with this one because it has a little bit of variation on the surface.
Yep.
But they're all fantastic.
So this has already been finished to the 400. I can just see a little spot of ironstone there that I can get out. So yeah, we'll just tidy that up a little bit. There's hardly any pressure there, it's just very light on the edge of the disc. Just a little concave. There's tiny little bit of ironstone in there that I'm trying to get out.
And so you would want to use the edge because that's where the most flex is.
Yeah, that's how you can get into that little concave using the edge. If you try and use it flat, then you're just going to rub off the edges. Always run around the outside just to tidy up the shape.
Pull your girdle when you put it in silver or gold.
And I just like to start a little bit of a push over the top, just so the bezel has something to sit on top of on the side. Alright, so the beauty of this machine is the track. So when I move this lever, the disc stops and it opens up these drawers.
As if it wasn't fast enough.
So I can just put the new head in and she's up and running again. So that 240 disc just flew off. It was looking a bit wobbly.
Yeah, you said you cut over 40 stones with it already.
Yeah, it's just out of balance for some reason.
Oh well, that was 1.5 cents worth of grit there.
Alright, so that's the diamond finish. And when we start using the silicon carbide, you can see straight away the difference.
So that almost looks about 1,200 grit equivalent of using a diamond mesh reel.
Yeah.
And that's just the beauty of silicon carbide. It's breaking itself down.
Yeah.
And the speed has a lot to do with it.
So I'm just working around the stone. I just sort of work towards the edges. So I do a pass up through the middle and then out towards the edges. just changing the orientation of the stone to get into the concave. It's starting to look pretty good. And then I just run around the edge with very gentle pressure.
Look at that. Your pre-polish is better than some people's final polish.
Well, that's the intermediate stage. So we'll do the 600 now. So once again, we go around the outside. And then we work the top from the center out to the sides. You always just do one broad stroke across the stone at the end just to tie the surface all into each other. Just see a couple of scratches there.
Do you mind if I hold your stone?
Yeah, go for it. Do you want the light out so you can...
Look at that. And this is just the pre-polish, folks. It seemed like the longest step in the entire process was you switching out another disc because it fell off.
Yeah, well, I work in batches, so I might have 50 stones. I'll do them all at the diamond grit, then the 240, then the 600, and you can get through them pretty quick.
And here's the thing, folks. This would not be able to be this shape on a set of wheels. That would have had to have gone. We would have burned through so much. This would have probably had to have been gone. It would have made a smaller stone. This machine lets you have bigger, gives you more yield out of your stones. Time is money, diamond is money. In this case, the only diamond is the 400 grit. Literally pays for itself. If you're coming here to the Tucson show and you plan on buying a bunch of opal, especially high-end boulder opal, you don't want to talk to Mr. Smart about these Ray Foster machines, because this is the type of machine that's going to let you get all out of your opal. Everything out of your opal. I'm excited.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good process.
And what would you use for your final polish?
Well, I use a felt wheel, and in Australia we can buy a product called Opal, which is what I've been using ever since I started cutting, so that's just what I buy. But I can pretty much guarantee that any polishing compound or any leather or felt wheel that you're using at the moment will do just fine to finish that stone off. So you can keep using your current polishing setup.
Some people in the States, they're kind of addicted to cerium.
Yep.
That works good. I know cerium works okay for like black. Yep. Is it okay for boulder?
Yeah, I mean, it's the opal surface that you're polishing. So the biggest thing when you're polishing to remember is that after these stages, all of this grit that's come off the sandpaper is in this little porous section on the boulder, and I always just wash off my stones before I go into my polish stage so that I'm not getting any contamination on the polishing felt.
Right, and folks who might not understand contamination, if a piece of silicon carbide is on there from 600 grit, when you're using the felt, it can actually mush around on the stone, leaving a 600 grit scratch amongst all of the finer polished cerium.
Yeah.
Or some people, I think, isn't Ready Polish an Australian polish?
Yeah, I don't know the other brands. I've only used the one type, so yeah,
awesome.
That's what I'm recommending.
Fantastic. I'm so excited. I know this is going to change not only the boulder opal world, but I'm seeing this go for fire agates, for Mexican opals. So some people like to do contour carving. Yeah. Perhaps even sculptors who need to get into tight places.
Yeah, the thing I like about it is that the spindle is fixed, and I'm always resting my hand in one spot and moving with my other hands. So see how I'm supporting the stick with my left hand, and that gives me total control over the stone on the dop stick. And that's definitely the way to do it, rather than having the stone moving in one hand and the handheld machine in the other hand. It's all moving, whereas this way, that's fixed. Your hands are locked in, so you have total control over the stone.
I gotta ask you, Mr. Smart, are you selling these machines at all?
Well, I sell them in Australia because they're made in the US, made right in LA. So, yeah, people in Australia can contact me. I have machines there. And if you're in the US, you can hit us up on the website, and we can organise one shipped out from Ray Foster. So yeah, get amongst it.
And so if you're in Australia, perhaps the best way to reach you would be through www.smartopals.com.au to make it a little bit easier. I'll try to straighten this up for you folks at home. So you can scan QR codes through videos, which is pretty interesting and neat. Fantastic. So that second piece, just about 2 minutes.
Yeah, a couple of minutes.
Absolutely incredible. And then from there, I mean, this is better than some people's final polish. And from there, you can take it to your favorite polish.
Yeah.
Speed Demon. There's going to be folks at home wondering about how big of pieces have you polished on this machine?
Yeah, so specimens that have some opal areas that you want to polish up, as long as it fits in this area here, you can work on it. And if you need to, you can actually raise where the spindle is, probably up another 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch, just to give you a bit more clearance here for the bigger pieces.
So if that's not big enough, I want to see what you folks are cutting. What kind of boulders you guys are cutting?
Yeah, so
absolutely,
it's a pretty
exciting.
versatile machine.
Fantastic. Mr. Smart, I can't thank you enough for having me over today. This machine is incredibly exciting. It's changing a lot of people's just thinking and ideals on boulder opal, on black opal, I just have all of these fantasies about it for fire agates and other stones. I can't thank you enough. Thank you, Mr. Smart.
Pleasure. Yeah.
So, you do sell the mandrels, the flexible mandrels. You even sell a punch, you said.
Yeah, we'll have the punches available.
For punching out the abrasives. You sell the foam, so if people don't want to source the foam, all on your website, www.smartopals.com.au. All of that information will be down in the description section of this video. I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Great machine, impressive results. It's going to create quality stones. That's all there is.
Well, thanks for coming by, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you cut on the Ray Foster machine.
I can't wait. I'm tripping out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.